Hello, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, the founder of Antarctic Press, a small comic book publishing company founded in 1985. Also, the creator of such comics as Marvel Mangaverse, Ninja High School, Warrior Nun, Mighty Tiny, Tomorrow Go, and a host of other comic books. So, there's a couple of videos I saw about this whole Jim Lee charging, whatever he's going to charge for his original artwork. $35,000, which seems like a lot. It is. It does not. Notwithstanding, not too many people could afford that kind of layout for original artwork. But it got me thinking about something. Some people are saying, "Oh, Jim Lee, he can charge whatever he wants. That's just the way that's the demand, supply and demand. He's going to get people who are going to pay it. But it got me thinking that this this whole thing about Jim Lee charging for what he does for original artwork is actually, I think, going to have a profound effect on the original comic book art market. I mean, think about it. Jim still uses paper, pencil, and ink, and he creates something physical that you can own, that he will draw for you on a physical piece of paper, and that you can own for the rest of your life. Now, think about this for a minute. Digital artwork, there's an attempt to make NFTs a thing. I'm not sure it still is. I don't keep up with that stuff. But the thing about digital, it's not physical. And the thing about people, for the most part, is we like things that we can touch, things we can hold, things we can feel, things that are in front of us. And this is where artists who can still do physical artwork will have an advantage over digital artists. What do I mean by this? Say, Ben, what do you mean by that? Digital artists are just as legitimate artists as anybody else. Well, okay, that's true. But nobody can own digital artwork. What do I mean by that? Well, what is digital artwork? Digital artwork is just a bunch of numbers in a computer. It's electric impulses basically. Translated into a picture. You could see it on a computer screen. You could print it out in physical form on a piece of paper, but it's not original. And then it'll never ever be original. Or digital artwork, for all you say about that, can never ever be physical. And I think, and this is just me speculating, I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm being naive. I think that we're going to see a return of artists going to physical artwork again. Because look, if Jim Lee can charge 35,000 for a piece of physical art, what does that say about other artists who could do the same exact thing? Imagine if you can, a very popular artist who can do physical artwork, and they suddenly can monetize that in a way that it couldn't before. People are going to start to pay attention, especially other artists, especially people who collect art. Because let's face it, physical artwork are one of a kind pieces. There is no other artwork in existence other than that one piece of artwork that artist has created. And when you own that piece of artwork, nobody else in the world will own that exact same piece. And that is where I think the original comic book art market is going to explode in the next 5-10 years. People are going to start looking at original art, comic book art, as investments now, because there's a lot of it out there. Trust me, there is. I myself produce literally hundreds of pages of original artwork every year. And I just don't know what to do with it, so I sell it to people who want to collect it. If it brings them some enjoyment, and that's fine. But now they own a piece of Ben Dunn artwork. And they will own it forever. If it brings them joy and happiness, then great. You know, I like to think my art is very affordable to my fans. You know, I mean, I ain't charging no $20,000, $35,000. That's for sure. Though, if I could, don't you think I would? You know, that's the thing. Is that once a piece of artwork is created, a physical piece of artwork is created, it is there forever. You know, and it's a one of a kind piece, and will only be owned by one person at a time. See, that is the true nature of physical artwork. You know, the ability to hold it, to study it, to look at it, to understand the intricacies, the nuance, the line work, the kind of material the artist used, the way he drew this particular character, the way he drew that particular line. You know, you could look at it, break it down, you know, and admire it for what it is, a piece of artwork drawn by a talented individual. And I think in a lot of ways, this whole Jim Lee thing it's going to be very interesting to observe in the next couple of years. You know, I think that we're going to see a lot of people start investing in physical artwork because it's a good bet. You know, there's a lot of great talented artists with lots of underrated pieces that are waiting to be discovered. You know, can you imagine if you had bought, you let's say you could go back in time, and you could buy, you know, you know, Jack Kirby's first Captain America cover. You know, you know, the history of original comic book artwork is very interesting. Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, no one kept original artwork. You know, once they were shot on film, and a lot of times the physical artwork done by the artist would never return to the artist. They were either reused, trashed, or thrown away, or given away to other people. No one thought there was any value to comic book art. A lot of people thought it was trash. You know? I mean, aside from the big names, maybe a Hal Foster and Alex Raymond, Milton Caniff. I mean, people like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, their art was trash. Nobody thought to collect them. You know, I'm sure there were collectors out there who bought it because they admired their work, but for the most part, you know, a lot of artwork from that era are gone, simply gone, never to be recovered again. You know, they may survive out there, maybe. I don't know. You know, the comic book publishers never kept track of it, so you know, they just had warehouses full of artwork that just stacked up month after month after month. Didn't know what to do, and it was costing them money. You know, publishers hate storing artwork because it costs them money, because it costs money to store it. You know, so you know they tried to return artwork, but you know some poor intern working at a Marvel or DC was trying to keep up with the addresses of a lot of artists and who did that, because a lot of artists didn't sign their work. They just turned in the piece, and if you were some intern working in the back storeroom, you didn't know who drew this, you didn't know who drew that. You'd have to do research. You'd have to say, hey, who drew this Tales of Suspense number 48? You know, do you know, was that Don Heck? Was that Steve Ditko? Who is it? And what's his address? Do you have his address? So a lot of times they just didn't bother. You know, so a lot of artwork from that era are just simply gone. It's just gone. You know, so you know, I think, and this is me personally, you can take it for what it is that we're going to see an explosion of people starting to want to collect original artwork because of Jim Lee. You know, he has focused a lot of attention on the value of the cost of original artwork. You know, who's to say? I mean, who's to say the $20,000 you spend on a Jim Lee piece is going to be worth $50,000 later on down the line? You know, original artwork is usually a pretty good investment. Unlike comics, where you print thousands and thousands and thousands of copies, you know, one piece of original art is all there will be forever. You know, so I think a lot of people are going to switch from collecting comics to original comic book art. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's my thought of the day. Until next time, this has been done. Signing off.